there are other strong options open, though. Lilia, JoseDeodo, that's one of the FlyQuest wins in locked-in tournament on that. Plus, you have the opportunity for things like Graves. I very much doubt Fiddlesticks would show up early on. The cooldown on W got nerfed, which made it significantly more difficult. With the Rell Seraphine bottom lane lock-in, though, FlyQuest already showing that they're probably going to have Seraphine carry down on the bottom side. And like we were talking about for Johnsun and Diamond as being a pain point for this FlyQuest lineup, that lane is quite safe for yourself. You don't have to overextend. Rell is very good at going for setup too when you can call your jungler. So basically, this lane is kind of baby-proof for the bottom lane, in my opinion.
Sure.
You just play it safe until jungler comes, and then you've got a crazy initiation. Rell setting up for Seraphine lock-in. But when those two champs are level 6, that is crowd control galore.
Yeah, it is. Now, one thing I do want to point out, though, is globally in competitive play, Seraphine bot as the carry is as common as Seraphine as a mid laner. She is truly a flex pick. She is. She can play 3 roles, most commonly hard support. Of course, with Rell, that's not the case here, but that is an option that is open for these teams, and I don't want anyone to get pigeonholed and realize that she's only going to be down at bot lane, because that is definitely not true. Regardless, we've got a Syndra coming through for PoE. You're taking over for Bjergsen. Why not play his hallmark here in your opening regular season game? Alistar in the bot lane should be pretty good. Handles crowd control stacks really well with the ultimate, of course. And honestly, SwordArt has been phenomenal on this champion, so that should be a good look. And FlyQuest are playing a very go-forward, rely on JoseDeodo composition. You've got a bunch of supports for the Hecarim dive.
Yeah, what better to go with your baby-proof bottom lane, Phreak, than a babysitter here. Hecarim going to come down and look for those kills. You get level 6, he brings the damage. And I actually like this direction of a strategy for FlyQuest. JoseDeodo coming in, definitely one of the strongest players here for the squad, and setting him up with confidence with a Hecarim while jungle is in the state that it's in right now, where you can be a true carry. Definitely like this a lot. TSM are going to have to start thinking about counter-engage. And they actually ban out one of their own possible choices there with a Galio, probably because with Alistar and Syndra, and too much AP, there's really nowhere to fit it in. But there are other things that you can look to for counter-engage. A lot of them are actually AP heavy though, so this does make it a little bit more difficult for TSM. Can't do anything like Swain. Gragas also AP. Those are some of the super common ones.
Yeah, because as soon as Hecarim buys Merc Treads and Rell buys Merc Treads, you're like, well, our damage got cut by 18%, and this comp is a little tough to make work. And you're seeing the attack damage auto-engage, disengage champions are the ones that FlyQuest ban away. Seraphine W's every single one of Seraphine's abilities, so that one's just gone, and Xayah, ults the Hecarim so that she can still teamfight after the CC comes in.
I feel like Gangplank for Huni, because they need more attack damage threat. It has good counter-engage options with lots of zone control and AoE as well, and it's one of Huni's best champions, and he's been one of the players that has been struggling for TSM if lock-in tournament was any indicator. Looks like Licorice going to beat him to the top lane punch, though, and go for the Camille. If you're going to pick Gangplank into Camille Hecarim, you better be watching out.
Interesting that they chose to wait on the mid lane pick. Of course, they know they're against Syndra. She's typically good into Orianna, but Orianna fits the comp, so that's kind of the consideration there from Palafox. But they said, Huni might take the Camille away. We want to make sure we lock this in for ourselves. More forward motion. You'll never take our Orianna away. We can get that last pick. It's likely. There's the Gangplank you wanted, Kobe. Congrats. You called that one out. Definitely going to be a strong one here to hold on against these dives. As you're mentioning, the counter engage should be good. And even just shooting the ultimate out if there are a bunch of bot lane dives down the time.
It just it makes a lot of sense with what they're running here, and I'm glad that you mentioned possible counter ganks on bottom side. SwordArt, the $5 million signing for TSM, is on Alistar. This is literally my favorite champion that I've ever seen SwordArt play. When he was on Flash Wolves, when he's at international events, on the Alistar, flanking around through enemy jungle, controlling vision for the team, having setup, plus being the main shot caller for the squad, you want him on a playmaking champion. That's definitely a very viable strategy for TSM to go to. Gangplank ultimate, Taliyah ultimate down there to wall him off. Make sure you can try and get some kills and actually punish one of FlyQuest's weakest areas.
And I want to point out real quick, I love this so much. As SwordArt was locking the last champion, he clicked Teemo, Senna, Misfortune. Teemo, Senna, Misfortune. TSM, lock in the MF. It warms my heart so much just like seeing TSM memes, especially for the newest addition to the roster. SwordArt, a huge fan of him as a player as well. And so yes, we get all the lock-ins. Orianna is indeed the mid laner here. It means Camille and Hecarim are the physical damage for FlyQuest. Plenty of magic damage coming out of Orianna and Seraphine as well. We usually see Moonstone Seraphine, though I'm still partial to Liandry's. It's not the build we see in pro play. TSM putting their whole roster together. And if Lost can play far enough back that he is not the primary champion engaged upon, that ult over the top is going to look really good.
Yeah, I mean, they do have really, really big areas that they can control if you can make it work with the stun from Syndra and the stuns from Alistar with your knockup. So it's definitely going to be an exciting one here. Clear topside carry for FlyQuest with jungle Hecarim and topside Camille. So top triangle of the map is going to be very important to them. Maybe we even see some level 1s trying to set up for deeper vision in this half of the jungle so that Spica doesn't put a wrench in those plans. And Spica's been one of the most active junglers that we have had in the LCS. And that's saying a lot considering we have guys like Blabber and Closer here being very, very proactive.
Yeah, Spica has really been outstanding. Super, super strong jungler. Glad TSM finally figured out the jungler they want to play with. I think this guy could be on the roster for years and years and years and truly be a cornerstone player. And as I said before Champ Select, I think he's been the best performing player of TSM for the last 4 months right now, counting Worlds and counting into the early 2021 season. I think he's really been phenomenal. Looking forward to what he can do on this first pick, Taliyah. Yeah, it should be a nerf next weekend, but he'll find something else to be OP on because he is very, very good. And I want to see how much the rest of this roster comes together. It's TSM with 4 new players. It's Spica and a whole new roster around him. And so far they had a quarterfinal exit. They lost to Cloud9 in the first round of the lock-in playoffs, and that was the end of their season. And we got to wait and see what they came in for the beginning of 2021 for the regular season, and the hopes are that it goes really well, right? The hopes are they run deep into playoffs and they can find their way at the midseason invitational. But we are onto the Rift now as FlyQuest have rebuilt their roster as well, and we're onto the Rift for Game 1 of LCS 2021.
TSM are also an organization that always have kind of one eye looking off into the distance towards international success. Part of the reason that they have done this multiple times where they are invest a lot to pick up a shot caller for the team. SwordArt definitely the most accomplished of any of those attempts that they've tried to go with, coming straight off of a World Finals. But with every game now that LCS has actually started, post lock-in, counting towards those international events, towards qualification to representing North America, these are the ones where they're really going to lay it all out on the line. Let's see what both teams have learned from the early stages. Looks like it is going to be bottom side start for both of them, heading up towards the possible Gangplank matchup.
Okay, yep, jungler's on the bottom side. That means jungler's going to end up top side at 3 minutes, and that'll be what we're looking at right now, unless you have shenanigans and you do like a 3 camp and a bot lane clear, which is unlikely, but I guess possible. Jungle start there for JoseDeodo, going to get the heavy leash from his dual lane. Johnsun going to hold on to his double cast, wants that for lane pressure. So the very mediocre Seraphine auto attacks are the only addition he's going to provide. Similar though for Lost and SwordArt, putting in their own autos and getting themselves to lane at equal times. Hecarim, a bit of a slow Gromp killer, but it's fine. He has smite if he needs it. And we are into the lane. Alistar, not the strongest level 1 tank, doesn't get to provide a whole lot, so going to play mostly on the back foot here, TSM. Nice couple of autos by Lost. Diamond doesn't want to get into anything yet.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about Huni's Gangplank specifically, because there is a reason that it was banned so much against him when he was in his prime. And there's a big difference between some of the other LCS Gangplanks that we've seen not play aggressively early on with this champion. I love Gangplank's early level 1 power. Huni always tries to make use of his Trial by Fire. That passive at level 1 does so much for you. So he sets up barrels in the brush to try and use to refresh his passive, constantly goes to stack up his grass procs, then will shoot off just as you see here. Thank you, observers. He gets the Q, plus then he gets another explosion there, so nice job by him. SwordArt goes for a small engage trade on bottom side though.
Yeah, headbutt pulverize, some decent damage. Not a ton of follow-up, all things considered, but there's no stuns coming out of Diamond, so it doesn't mean a ton. Lost takes a little bit of poke, but they're just going to keep healing on back up. Johnsun, by the way, is doing Airy and not Guardian. So if he ran Guardian, he'd be much safer against getting dope because he could just put his shield on and then that'll allow Guardian to trigger next time he takes damage, and that would help him quite a bit. With Airy, he's a bit more of a poke monster. He's a bit higher damage, which maybe they do want, but does make him a little bit easier to dive. Regardless, quick wave clear for PowerOfEvil. 24 out of 25 possible CS is very, very good. And he gets to watch Spica take down the Scuttle and take his first recall.
And so it should be a reset here for Jose down to bottom side to try and get there, for the respawn of his Gromp. He sees that the Alistar lane here for TSM has control of jungle, so Spica can just walk straight across mid and pick up the double Scuttle Crab for himself on this Taliyah. That is why you skip your Krugs on Taliyah. He just goes red into Raptors up towards his top side, pushing matchup there with Huni, and is able to pull off the double Scuttle Crab here. As I said, though, for Jose, he's just heading straight to his respawn Gromp. You don't actually lose out a lot of time, and this is him taking into account his lane matchups. He gets the full reset off right into the early attack damage, picking up his longsword, and is there for the respawn of the Gromp. You want to try and get to your level 6 here for Hecarim. He's one of the central carry points for this matchup. As we said in Champ Select, the Hecarim, the Camille, the big carry power here for FlyQuest. Bottom lane, very CC heavy, looking for more supportive plays. We see multiple roams coming out as SwordArt just made one up towards mid, now Diamond's following, but they did have some vision pre-existing here for TSM that SwordArt laid down on its first path.
As you can see down here, FlyQuest are running a Spanish co-stream of the LCS throughout the entire year. You can see the link down below, twitch.tv/FlyQuest, if you want to keep track of that and watch in not English, They're running that one, so it's there.
Not English.
I mean, there's yes, it's in Spanish, but here we go. We got a fight in the mid lane. There, nice flash by Palafox, gets away from the headbutt pulverize. I do believe he was spotted by a ward around and knew it was coming in, but either way, well played. FlyQuest off a very, very small gold lead right now, and JoseDeodo, he's going to meet with Spica right now, and sees him start that, and he's going to peace out.
Yeah, not much he can do here since Licorice just recalled. He's got teleport available, can join, but Palafox burning that flash with the pass from SwordArt is actually really big, as Orianna already has to worry about kill combinations when Syndra hits level 6. Now Palafox is in a pretty dangerous spot. His wave is pushing up towards the enemy position, plus he has no flash for himself, and PoE is looking at level 6. The only reason he's still aggressively pushing like this and is going to be able to get this wave in is because he has the double control wards on both sides. So he knows, even though PowerOfEvil lands that stun, there's no kill threat coming through here. And it's going to be up to SwordArt and TSM to try and clear out some of this vision to really take advantage of the flashless Orianna.
Diamond sets up near the mid to maybe look for a counter gank. Not going to find it there as Spica shows up to help with the ward clear. Huni waiting out the shield, then landing the Q. Good timing there on the Gangplank. But overall, up until very recently, Licorice was winning this lane by a lot. 5 CS is more than what's in this wave, so he's still going to be pretty comfortable over there. As his Sheen recall has come through, TSM 6 minutes in are going to still look at bottom Scuttle and maybe a chance at an early Dragon as Spica burns the smite and says, nah, never mind, I'm out. Still going to keep stacking up there. Early Sork Shoe's done, so his PvP damage is up quite a lot. Some move speed for clear speed as well can be pretty useful, but otherwise no objective stacking. A fairly safe laning phase, all things considered.
I would say almost never just rush into an early Dragon in this position. TSM are set up so well for mid lane control. Try and focus on mid lane first, gain your priority with Syndra. PowerOfEvil has already a giant CS lead over Palafox, summoner spell advantage over Palafox. He can control this mid lane wave very easily just by threatening possible kill combinations with any member of TSM. This kind of makes Palafox give up ground. Whenever you give up one of these mid-lane minion waves, you lose basically 30 seconds of kind of free vision where it pushes up. Your opponent has to clear out those minions at their tower and gives you the first move. So that's why we constantly are seeing these moves on TSM on the bottom side of the map, which is ideal since you're mentioning the top side matchup. Huni now is to the level 6. Despite a few extra CS there for Licorice, the Gangplank ultimate is ready to come down to bottom side as well.
All right, so look for it. Maybe there is going to be a play. We've got level 6 already for Misfortune as the supports have ducked away. Both bot lane farm champions have hit 6 already. Diamond and SwordArt both giving XP away as much as they can. And that means it can be scary. The ults are really, really good for both of these. Right now, though, easy enough wave clear. The tier early in for Johnsun, first recall, very, very standard, and it just gives you practically infinite mana down there, makes it very easy to play the lane out, so farm pretty close down to the bottom lane. Mid lane, definitely a win right now for PowerOfEvil. The same in the jungle here for Spica, as top and bot are fairly close. This is TSM off of a small gold lead, more than just GP passive would give you. One thing to point out with Gangplanks as well is they almost never will queue minions in the early laning phase. They will almost always queue the enemy champion. So they very rarely earn a lot of extra gold off parlay, which means their gold income is sort of honest compared to like a Twisted Fate where they are just kind of more gold than their performance dictates.
I want to point out the minimap movements that just took place, because that's the entire story here for TSM, as Spica is on a control ward, but the bottom lane pushed in that wave just before the camera moved away. Lost and SwordArt gain priority, and they start roaming all the way up towards that Rift Herald part of the map. Once they hit the halfway point, and you can see there's no response from FlyQuest, Lost just heads right back down to bottom, doesn't drop an ACS, continues to keep up his farm, as well as getting the objective here for TSM in a bloodless start for them. Definitely a pretty good setup, but FlyQuest are going to try and answer off of the reset.
All right, this Dragon definitely killable. They got their ward control back. They finally decided, all right, this river is ours. They saw Lost knock down the wave, and then you're just going to recall under his turret. So, first Dragon of the game, borrowing a steal, will go FlyQuest's way. TSM gonna walk over, but it's gonna be too little too late. Again, barring a miracle, that's gonna be the smite coming in. So pretty late in, but still 9.5 Dragon means that you could see theoretically a 25-minute Dragon Soul, which would be quite fast. So we'll see if that is the kind of control FlyQuest can have over the bottom side, or if TSM can do something else in the meantime. Mid lane turret's gonna lose its first plate. PowerOfEvil gets the first full gold there.
Yeah, while there's no FlyQuest ward in that particular bush, there are FlyQuest wards all over the river that saw the positions of Spica and SwordArt head into the jungle. So that's why we saw Palafox take the long, safe route back around, losing one turret plate towards mid, but getting there in time for the minions. They know there's a pressure point here for TSM. They want to take advantage. Flash has come back up for Palafox, though, so FlyQuest weather that storm of the possible mid lane pressure and play for TSM that they were going to try and compile off of the early SwordArt play. They haven't actually bled too much, and they've kept up some pretty good defensive vision for themselves. They're just kind of working towards Jose to get his first offensive item completed here for Hecarim before they can make their big move. Johnsun and Diamond have plenty of crowd control. As soon as Diamond hits that level 6, they'll have the big combo.
And right now, the only substantial difference in this game is the 16 CS lead in the mid lane, and a similar amount over in top. We have to kind of wait till Huni can clear the wave out, because the CS numbers are going to lie until that wave is gone. But as he knocks these down, yeah, that's about the difference here between these players. And still, you've got jungle, bot support all fairly close right here. An extra plate, 2 plates actually already taken out of the bottom side, and Spica is still holding onto that first Rift Herald. We may well see TSM in the next 30 seconds, honestly, go to knock down this turret with the full force of a push and Rift Herald, and I mean, that'll get you, 800 gold right there.
Yeah, that's why you can see already the reinforcements. JoseDeodo heads down to bottom side. So a little bit of a feint here from TSM, and they do get Hecarim showing on this control ward, so they know Jose's position and will be able to apply pressure on top side. Spica here just picks up the Scuttle Crab. I believe he missed a seismic shove on the Scuttle Crab. Those things could be frisky, Phreak.
Yeah, of course. It's okay. It's okay. Just don't play Senna. Otherwise, it's okay. We're going to move on.
He nailed the Gromp, though. Boom.
He nailed the Gromp. It wasn't moving. It behaved much more friendly, so, we're okay there. Items still coming through across the board in a lot of places. Merc treads in for Rell right now. Still no. Ooh, nice knockback by PowerOfEvil. The flash W. There's the ult, the shock over the top. Big damage on a PoE. Here comes the horsey. And JoseDeodo grabs first blood for FlyQuest, their opening game.
Both teams, kind of a calm opening early game here, Phreak. Just feeling out the beginning of spring in the LCS. But FlyQuest are the first ones to actually pull the trigger, and it is the veteran Licorice who makes the call. Goes in on the Camille, even with the knockback from PowerOfEvil. He flashes immediately into the Hextech Ultimatum and Shockwave. Really nice play here from FlyQuest. But you heard that Rift Herald activation, Phreak. That sucker goes down, no plates acquired, and that means the dragon that FlyQuest picked up in response to the top focus of TSM did not have a significant cost. Here's another look at it. Licorice goes in. Yes, he gets knocked back, flashes over to make sure they get the shockwave. And once you have that, you know you can finish it off. Phase Rush Hecarim, one of the speediest in the game. And that is going to be a big one for FlyQuest because it went into the hands of Jose himself.
I'm just sad that Spica didn't summon Herald when he was recalling out a bot lane when the wave was literally on the turret down to 3 plates left. Like, that's when you summon Herald. You can't guarantee you've got a better play in the next 45 seconds. And he wastes it, and I'm sad that they just threw away 300 gold and half a turret. So,
I can feel your blood rising.
Yeah, yeah. Especially as a bot lane, I'm like, look, just give me the gold. I'm right here. Just press the button, man. Oh, well.
Everybody wants a piece of your Rift Herald as a jumper. I know the feeling. Huni on the top side as well spent his Gangplank ultimate. He has finished his Divine Slicer though. So at least he has a lot better trading going on for himself right now on the top side.
Yeah, gonna feel more comfortable. A lot of the mythics are coming through. Gale Force in for Misfortune. We had Leandry's for PoE even before that mid lane fight. Obviously, Leandry's doesn't keep you alive against a Camille Orianna dive, so sorry that's not going to help, but we've got Triforce in, we've got Moonstone in, and now a battle right in front of the next Drake spawn over the blue buff. TSM leashing it away. Diamond going to reveal some of the wards. Nice yoink by PoE. That's going to guarantee the blue should go over. Okay, yeah, had enough time. It was going to leash pretty soon, but he's fine. Cloud Drake comes back up. TSM are in a gold lead, by the way. They've gotten so many plates from lane pressure in mostly mid and bot that despite the first blood, they are ahead in gold, they are ahead in items. But I want to see who can get control over this river right now because there's a ward inside the pit for FlyQuest, and TSM's wards are starting to die.
Yeah, it's a nice surge back here for FlyQuest to clear out all of these TSM wards. TSM had invested 4 control wards for themselves around this dragon area, but FlyQuest quickly move in. They take out the most important ones. Teleport is ready for both top laners, by the way, so this could be a deep teleport flank for him.
Not going to find a shove. JoseDeodo was clearing through Fog of War. Spica was hidden behind that wall, but no, that's some more move speed coming in. He's cutting back and forth. Doesn't have actual Ghost up just yet, but still has ways of getting move speed with some of his teammates. And now it's a start on the Drake. Recall coming through for SwordArt. A hard recall signal, so they are not doing anything. They're going to give away second dragon here. And honestly, FlyQuest, yes, this game is playing really slowly, but it will speed up. And 10% ultimate haste. Honestly, not a bad thing considering the fact that they're pretty ult-based here on the FlyQuest side.
It's really huge, Phreak, because remember the champ select when we're talking about the team comps and FlyQuest want to play as 5. They have huge synergy between their champions with so many heals and shields to buff up the diving combination of Licorice and Jose. They want to be able to use stacking dragons to draw TSM to just a brute force 5-on-5. But TSM are holding strong to their strengths here. The outer side turrets are both very low. They finish up the first turret bonus here on top side for Huni. They want to make these global plays. They've got the Taliyah, they have the Gangplank ultimate, they have very good focus fire. And with the outer turrets going down, if they're able to clean up the bottom one that you really wanted your Rift Herald used on in the first place, then that will open up the game plan here for TSM.
Well, the gameplay for TSM seems to be slow and steady. I want to point out Huni. The stats won't reflect this because we usually look at gold difference or XP difference or CS difference at 10 or 15. But Huni, more or less by himself, got first turret at 16 minutes with, I don't believe there was almost any jungle ganks up there. There was the one roam mid from Licorice, which Huni got to pressure, but he has been quietly winning this lane and creating pressure and earning gold. So well done to him. Bot lane in the same boat here, right? Lost with SwordArt's help, have nearly knocked down the bot lane turret. That's almost dead as well. Again, very little pressure from the teammates down there. They are winning lanes overall. TSM are the slowest team in the LCS. Their combined kills per minute is lowest by far. They're 10th by a lot. They play slow, low-kill games, but right now it's working pretty well.
Yep, we'll have to see when the test comes up at the next Dragon. 3 minutes, 10 seconds on this Infernal Drake arrival, which is going to be a huge, huge turning point here. We still have yet to see the Rell and Seraphine combination for FlyQuest. But SwordArt and TSM, their big objective leading up to this dragon is going to be getting some deeper vision for them. We mentioned SwordArt's flanks. Lost is going to
Gale Force flashes, but still pulled back for good measure. Seraphine lands the ult. JoseDeodo going to grab his second and only kill of the game. That is so far so good. The dive combo comes in, and they're going to have cooldowns back well in time for Dragon 3.
Yeah, a nice little extra bag of gold in their pockets to set up for it as well. Double Trinity Force Power Spike ready for FlyQuest pre-Dragon number 3 fight. So they are feeling very good about this. Look at Licorice already heading down from the top side too. Now, due to the extensive warding of TSM, though, it was sighted, and they'll easily be able to make the call. They definitely have been investing super heavily in tons of vision on the side of TSM. See if they can actually take advantage of this recall, though, to finish off this turret. 4 members of Rift Herald, they should be able to wrap up all outer turrets before this dragon spawns and keep up some of this deeper vision. You see SwordArt leaving that control ward deep into the blue quadrant as well.
Alrighty, well, that's going to be turret number 2 taken, and again, the one in bot lane has about 300 health left on it, so TSM pretty close to being the team with all 3 turrets, with none answered to the FlyQuest side. That gold, of course, going to help. It's really buoying them compared to the fact that there have been kills from the FlyQuest side. Crucially, Lost is flashless and will be for Dragon 3. Does knock down that turret, so yep, TSM first to 3 turrets, no problem down there. That's going to be comfortable. 2,500 gold lead to them. I'd argue that is them as a stronger team then compared to the Drake stack that FlyQuest have so far. Licorice has to get out of there. An undefeated Camille, 5-0. All of that, of course, been on Cloud 9, but now here on FlyQuest, going to try to be part of the solution there. I
just can't get over how different this start of LCS is from the entire lock-in tournament.
Yeah.
So, yes, the lock-in tournament was used for a lot of testing for all the teams, and a lot of them were pushing limits, going super aggressive, looking for these kills at every instance, you know, contesting vision so heavily, fighting over control wards. This one, so much more planning has gone into this game. So much more handshaking, looking to fight on power spikes here, and it's all going to come to fruition at this dragon. 20 minutes into the game, hits the clock, and this is about to explode.
Oh, Spica gets rooted right in the faces. There could have been an ult combo, but they chose not to go for the play there. It's probably correct not to, since the rest of the team could have shown up first, and they would have been a kill for getting wiped afterwards. But now, Dragon up at 13 seconds. Diamond goes over the wall. JoseDeodo, he's going to get cut off. Has ulti, I believe. Yeah, has ulti if he needs to get away. So that is Taliyah ult doing not much. It's not a combat ult anyway, so not really a problem. But Dragon is alive, and TSM right now have control. Diamond will take some damage killing this ward, and in fact, can't even sweep it away anyway. Can this team get down? The Infernal Rift means they have more roots, but no, they're going to give it away. They're not going to contest, and so Dragon 3, the first Infernal, goes to TSM. Just a little bit of map control. FlyQuest are losing control.
Honestly, lock-in tournament was sock 'em boppers, and now that we started LCS, it's evolved into the chess game. FlyQuest, I'm just really surprised they didn't commit Licorice to more of an effect on top side. They actually gave up on the bottom side fight without, you know, either getting more damage onto this top turret or a whole lot more done on the opposite side of the map for them. With the extra cooldowns here, I think we'll just have a little bit more passive wait until we get to the next dragon as well.
All right, Kobe. Well, I'll see you in 4 minutes and 15 seconds for the next team fight. Meanwhile, TSM.
You can't see my camera. Ha!
You don't know what spy cams I've installed in your home.
Okay, now we're getting creepy.
Well, look, okay, I'm good friends with Travis, and I just, I gave him an extra interview one day, and he's like, okay, I'll help you out, you know? He's being a homie.
You've changed, my friend.
You sleep in the left side of your bed, don't you, Kobe?
I like this top side focus, though. I'm going to get away from the bedroom talk with Phreak for TSM. They're already shifting their vision up into enable a little bit more split pushing for themselves, and we can return to what they wanted to do with their comp here as Huni trying to work up. He's gone with the super tanky Gangplank build, by the way, which is interesting because he was the one that did the double Infinity Edge Gangplank builds back in the day. And not only has he opted for the Divine Sunder, the more tanky option, you get your heal off of it, but also right into the Sterix, super OP item. Licorice is Camille, so should be just fine. Escaping on the side lane, but you know, steel plates into the Sterix, into the Vine Sunder. He is building for a lot more tanky version of Gangplank rather than the barrel chain one-shot version. And considering the dive that FlyQuest have, I do actually support this.
And TSM have now gotten to 4 turrets. Mid lane tier 2 is already dropped low by the earlier Herald summon that Spica grabbed, but TSM without kills are going to grab turret number 5 here as well. Flash engage for SwordArt. That's big damage to Licorice. Puts the ulti down. Flash is the way to stay alive. Going to get away from this one, but now the re-engage on the backside. Here comes Hecarim over the top. Looking for the damage output. It's 1-for-1 so far as Jungler's dead for the top laner. Ulti comes across for Lost. A big shockwave catches one back. And here comes the rest of the team fight. Already 3 dead for FlyQuest. Only 2 kills on their side, so TSM come away with it. 5 turrets in a +1 team fight.
So much gold into the hands of TSM. What a power play here for the mid game. Those turrets you're talking about with the extra kill added on top for themselves, and they don't have to give anything up in exchange to FlyQuest. This entire mid game has been dictated by TSM, from stopping the dragon stacking to a super hard push here into FlyQuest territory. This is the big FlyQuest, you know, AoE fight that we are looking for, but you see the teleport from Palafox, he's actually not there until they already suffer a death and Licorice is down. So TSM are able to chase them back through. When Palafox does arrive, really big shockwave here to answer one back for themselves. But TSM already had dealt their damage. They got their objectives. They finished off the extra kill there with loss. You know, double summoners by him, well invested, I'd say.
A crucial part of that fight was Seraphine ult entirely missed. He aimed it at SwordArt, and SwordArt flashed for headbutt pulverize, meaning it didn't echo off him or hit the backline at all. That was going to be a really crucial point of that fight, because that actually CC probably changes that around. SwordArt, yes, Hex Flash is over, cannot find the target. Ult is coming back very, very soon. Cloud Drake at work. JoseDeodo has ult in about 4 seconds. Hopefully something that TSM can track well, but otherwise it's going to be a big point of power, as we've got Alistar and Misfortune still missing theirs. Huni also, no cannon barrage there on the Gangplank. So a small cooldown difference here that FlyQuest sadly will not be able to use.
And look at this. There's no minion wave mid here for FlyQuest, so they're just wasting time while TSM are hard pushing on top. TSM want to take all secondary turrets for themselves. They'll be able to get that top secondary. FlyQuest are going to try and race them and get this mid turret, but you are the ones that are already behind in this race. You started 50 meters back. TSM are knocking on your door. You can't afford to trade things. They're just going to power straight through and get an inhibitor turret.
JoseDeodo can't even finish soloing this turret down as top inhibitor goes down to about 40%. May regen to 2/3, but I mean, what a horrible trade. You lost 1.7 turrets and got nothing back that's actually gold in your pocket. And TSM can say, okay, let's go back to mid. We're there on time. 13 seconds till Drake. We're already here. Oh, FlyQuest, you're late to Dragon when you set mid for a minute and a half? Too bad.
Well, Phreak, you wanted to see some improvements in the TSM shot calling when you get a $5 million SwordArt signing. Yeah, that's what this buys you. This mid game here for TSM. Several objectives unanswered. Is going to be a...
Thought the stun was going to land. If it landed, that was going to be a lot of damage. Palafox would have had to flash at the end and be at 10%, but that's not going to come through. They're going to knock him out of SwordArt. He pops the ulti, still stunned again, though. Is he a good target is the end of the question, as he's still going to get shot, gets slowed yet again. Ult's going to end up, but they cannot finish the dive. No, Diamond goes in, pulls in one Hecarim over the top. Nice zonies by Spica, but JoseDeodo's running out of health. Here comes the double knockup. Not going to find anything else. It's only a 1-for-1. They cannot complete these kills. The coordination seems wrong, that they're kind of just going one by one. And TSM, the more powerful team, ready to take Dragon number 4.
Hugely agree on the coordination issue there. Licorice wasn't around the back on the flank, and they flashed in. Now he's there, though, focusing on this Dragon.
They do not have any ultimates but Licorice's. Spica has his. That's not very useful. FlyQuest,
they don't have
towards this Dragon. They might have a chance to get it. Yeah, their jungler's dead, which means Spica gets the easy ult. Oh, he's not going to ride it. He doesn't have flash. This could be an auto attack take. They're going to grab Drake number 3. Team fight comes in. Stun on the backline. Licorice wants it. Can he get the kill on Lost? He's getting pushed around. They find a single kill. A 1-for-1, but a 2-for-1 as they knock down the top laner as well. 2-1 FlyQuest plus the Dragon. This has been back and forth, and FlyQuest are getting close to the winning position here.
This is FlyQuest that had to rebuild their entire roster, Phreak. Yes, they've got a bunch of nascent talent here, you know, new guys joining the scene, some unsure prospects for themselves, Cloud9 Academy members, and yet they're done being pushed around by TSM in the mid game. Nice force right here. Licorice steps up when they need it once again on the Camille. And even though this first engage that they had with the re-engage flash from Diamond was a little bit early, as you can look at this, both solo laners are up at the top of the river when he flashes in. So Palafox is not in range to add anything. Licorice isn't in range to add anything, and TSM punished them. Big punish there. You know, PowerOfEvil gets the kill on the Syndra. You trade your support for enemy jungler with an objective up. That is great. You take that every day of the week. But Licorice goes for the feint here. Zoning off TSM, focusing down this dragon, kind of trying to bait out some cooldowns from them. Then you get a stun onto Palafox, but no follow-up there for TSM back to live.
Big engage. Shield is on. They're going to be hard to kill the Rell. JoseDeodo on the back line. Looks for it again. Cannot quite kill Spica. The third ult in a row from Johnsun hits 0 enemies. This one just not going to be great. Another knockup comes through for SwordArt. Not going to be rooted in place. Either flashes over the wall. Just cannot be seized because Seraphine doesn't land a single skill shot in any team fight as FlyQuest still retain control over mid.
And Phreak, the dragon stacking that we were talking about for FlyQuest, where they want to be able to force TSM on these objectives every 5 minutes, is back on track. Only 3 minutes left to go on the next Infernal Dragon here. That is a huge soul for FlyQuest. They are still down significantly in gold, but if they can just move some of their vision over towards this area of the map, they'll be nicely set up to try and pull the same thing off on TSM. Level 16 has come in for both Palafox and PowerOfEvil here, as all the solo laners are approaching their peaks. TSM with control wards around this Baron, though, have got different ideas.
PoE is gigantic. This is massive. I mean, full, Leandri's done, Seraph's completed, Death up over the top. He is huge, and he's going to delete almost anyone he wants to. I mean, basically, FlyQuest are lucky that Sterix is so overtuned that those champs are going to live, because otherwise this is going to be really, really rough stuff. Banshees comes through for Palafox. This is, again, pre-buff Banshees. It's 11.2, not 11.3. Still a good defensive option. He'll try to survive a bit longer. Third item comes through for Johnsun as his Seraphs is completed, so if those abilities do land, it'll be pretty good damage. And Licorice wants in, looks in for Lost, gets the ulti over the top, but no one is near him. They cannot shockwave, but it doesn't matter! Camille has a Trollgath ult for a Q. Gets one kill, still gets killed under the turret though. And now TSM look to re-engage. They don't need an AD carry. They've already lost him. There's the charm they wanted. There's the jump in right on top of Spica. Finally a great shot for Johnsun, and it deletes the TSM jungler.
FlyQuest playing to their strengths. Team fight after team fight force for them, running straight down mid, and Licorice commits, Phreak. That is a deep, deep dive for him. Is able to finish off his target even though he goes down in exchange, and Johnsun comes up with the big counter engage for them. Let's see how they force on TSM. Now, checking cooldowns for the turn. Palafox shockwave just came up on Orianna. Keep your eyes on that ball.
There's the ball, indeed. That's what we're looking for, but the barrels are going to be scary as well. You got to have someone take them down. Mostly it should be Seraphine. She's got good auto range and no auto attack damage, but careful because PoE lands a stun, and the ult's back up in a second. Stun into Huni. Second stun into Huni. Here comes the pushback as well. He's running out of HP. The exhaust is on. The shield is there, and they're going to kill him anyway. The flash just came too late. The Baron mate gets a single extra kill.
Even with that super tanky build for Gangplank, JoseDeodo, nice charge back off of the stun there from Diamond. He's able to knock him back into the team. They have just enough damage to finish him off, regardless of flash being blown. Here it is again, Licorice. The Camille engage, super deep, back to the tower, finishes him off with the ridiculous true damage Q. Then he does die in exchange, but a lot of AoE was used. TSM, they used Huni's ultimate, and it's just a beautiful ult from Johnsun, right down the middle. Even though SwordArt's got ultimate on, Huni can double you out of it. Spica gets hit. He has nothing left as a squishy Taliyah, so he goes down to the AoE as Jose follows up, and FlyQuest are retaking control.
Now, Spica's got his Zonias now, so a lot more of these champions can survive that kind of burst. Infernal Solo's the possibility now. It is spawned, and if FlyQuest get it, they're going to up that win rate by a lot. Diamond leads the charge. PoE going to join the team to be part of the stack. Here comes the play. Good root on the front line. Can they force SwordArt to ult? Not just yet. No stun just yet for PoE. Diamond to the front. Licorice waiting in the wings for his opportunity to go in for this one. If he can charge the Q, it nearly just one-shots the Alistar through the ultimate. It deals true damage. Wall comes in, only zones off Palafox. That's going to be fine. Shockwave onto the Alistar combo. Diamond just gets shut down. Licorice finds a single stun and goes in for Lost. Cannot quite one-shot him, but will get it at the end of the day. Shockwave does not catch Spica either. Licorice finds the stun towards PoE, takes down Alistar, looks for a bit more, finally gets shut down. But the fight can continue. As into the back line goes Huni. He's pretty tanky, but gets shut down by JoseDeodo. It's a 2v3. The junglers are still alive. Jose does have smite, so does Spica, but Spica cannot get over the wall. They know where he is. It's Johnsun's play to push him out, and this should be Infernal Soul unless PoE can steal it by himself. Otherwise, there's no play. TSM kites back. Does Syndra steal? Can she make it happen? She cannot. An Infernal Soul goes to FlyQuest.
Oh my goodness, most pivotal fight in the entire game, Phreak, and I just can't stop laughing at where the dragon was going deep into the jungle, made a full tour of the FlyQuest side. They finally got it though. They get their Infernal Soul. Big team fight for FlyQuest. This is going to give them the reins for the game. Now they can easily control the Baron area. Let's take another look at it. This Taliyah wall is why the dragon goes up through the jungle. Let's take a look at the actual fight, though. SwordArt got the engage into the MF ultimate, which is exactly what you're looking for, but the dive, counter dive here from FlyQuest between Jose and Licorice finds their kill. They take down the AD carry, and they're able to section off Huni up on the top side to finish here. What a good flash from Palafox and Johnsun to get away from the stun of PowerOfEvil, so no counter kill there for TSM, giving them full control now.
And I feel bad for Lost because this is the second time in a row he's been solo killed by Camille in the middle of his team. I don't know what you're supposed to do differently. Like, I don't think Shield Bow is actually correct here, but he's just not living at all. Finally has a stopwatch. That's going to be incredibly important, and it will change the texture of these fights. But yeah, Licorice has been deleting misfortunes for the entire game now.
Yeah, and it's great. They have a dive buddy, and we kind of talked about this when they're forming the composition. Teleport is ready here for Licorice, though. He's going to have to teleport in to stop this Baron. TSM are going to need to pull off.
Yeah, they're letting Lost hit it a little bit longer. Finally, they are going to pull away, but now this could be a hard dive. Diamond comes in, pulls in a few, gets a stun, and Lost is just gone again! His life has been forfeit. 2 kills already. Looking for a third on the SwordArt, looking for Huni as well. He's going to be slowed down. Licorice wants to chase. Can't quite find it, but guess what? There's no jungler alive. This is going to be a ghost into a swipe into the Rainbow 7 flare. JoseDeodo just doing so much work for FlyQuest.
Latin America represent there with the R7 flash. Argentina coming up big here for FlyQuest, and this is going to be a run straight down the middle for them. Big team fight. They're able to scale through. Giant AoE for themselves off of those kills. They can just reset to go pick up Baron. Teleport for Huni and PoE. Maybe there's a Hail Mary play. There's not a good teleport spot for them. Maybe a minion on top side. And try and go for that Hail Mary barrel chain over the back or something. But it looks like TSM not going to even try that. FlyQuest will reap the rewards.
And this is the first time in a very long time FlyQuest have had an actual gold lead. They just crested plus 100 as they knock down middle tier 2. Red Bull Baron buff comes on to FlyQuest, and all of that fighting they did from a gold deficit. Now they've got the lead plus the soul. It's going to get better from here.
And we got to shout out Diamond. This is one of the guys we specifically mentioned looking for improvements from lock-in. He gets the engage, just full commit there on the Rell, gets his combination off, ultimate into the stun, Appel retract, and he doesn't even die for it. The team with so many heals, shields, and speed ups gets to make use of their crazy team fight. Nowhere for SwordArt to go there, of course. Horse defeats Cow. Everybody knew this. There's no chance for SwordArt.
Nope. All right. Well, we're back onto the map, though, and TSM do not want to say die. Problem is, there's no easy turrets to kill. They never did knock down the top lane inhibitor one, and they have to go all the way to the base. And against Baron, that's not an easy thing to do. Items coming through across the board, though. We're seeing the defensive options, the engage options coming across. Diamond has had his chem tank for a little while, so he's, of course, pretty fast. Guardian Angel in for Camille. Bit of healing cut for Lost, but aside from that stopwatch, he is still very easily killed.
Looking good for investing in future talent, Phreak. FlyQuest starting off the LCS here with a commanding control of the late game. Giant team fight for them setting up. Palafox pushing away on this outer turret. They've got Baron, so closing this one up should be by the books. You've got a super jacked Camille. Nobody can answer Licorice, so it just means everybody else on FlyQuest has to play safe enough that TSM don't get a crazy engage. And you see SwordArt waiting in the wings. He knows TSM's only hope is to try and make a quick engage while Licorice is split pushing, before that Camille gets there, so that Lost gets to play the game, actually.
Well, Lost, good luck, buddy. It's going to be tough because they are going to try to dive you, and it's going to be a short life if you cannot immune some of that crowd control or some of that damage. So, bot lane under fire, turret's down to about 40%. Diamond might auto it, Jose the same, and there is the turret gone. Still 40 seconds on the Baron buff, means bot inhibitor should drop as well. Shields are good, inhib's going to die, barrels don't mean any damage at all, and they can look for the next wave to push in.
They certainly can. They've got 30 seconds left on the Baron, means one more wave for them. Mid one should be able to arrive, and they could pressure if they wanted to, but it looks like they're going to release that pressure valve. Bottom inhibitor turret is enough for them. FlyQuest going to call it there. Nobody should be left around to give any comeback chance here for TSM. They've been able to basically starve them a vision of the map now. Full wards on both sides. Just look at this view. You would almost think we still have full map view on with the amount of vision that FlyQuest have. Teleport goes through here, though, as they're trying to make some sort of comeback play heading up to this Elder Dragon. This is it. This is what all teams hope for the big comebacks. Maybe you can win the fight on Elder Dragon, get the Elder Dragon itself, and try and push for it. But FlyQuest aren't going to take that chance. They still have a hard push down mid. 2 inhibitors will be quick.
All right, Johnsun Licorice going to stay onto this one, and here comes the attempt at a standstill. Gangplank is going to defend it, so a 3v3 for this one. Junglers are here. We got to watch both halves at some point, as FlyQuest can turn around, or they can go for PoE. Here comes the dive already. They find the first stun. They're going to look for Spica. He's going to zone his Hourglass. Here comes the teleports. Lost trying to kite away, and he's going to do so successfully. TSM staying alive, and now Huni is here. And be careful, SwordArt, an easy target, has no ult. One more auto will kill him, but no, can't find it just yet. Lost going to pop his one and only stopwatch. Johnsun rejoins the fight, and one kill in for Huni. Traded back those Lost drops. Johnsun finds his kill as well on a SwordArt, and Spica's on the run away. JoseDeodo cannot catch him, but now Huni is isolated. He is stuck. He is alone. But again, Licorice finds the shutdown, finds the ISO kill, knocks down PowerOfEvil, and Huni drops as well. There's 12 total HP left on TSM, and it all belongs